Hey everybody, Animal Man here. Today my dad and I are going to be building my bearded dragon, blue-tongued skink, and red-footed tortoise a brand new cage. Stay with us. Worked on a new lizard and tortoise cage here. It's going to be a built-in cage at the bottom of this rack. And I began building it with my dad today. We've got the back attached to the wall. Now we're working on the floor panel. And what I always do with all my built-in cages is I create spots for underneath heating pads. These are just Zoom Med 10 to 20 gallon heating pads. And they go on the bottom. The way I do that is I use plywood and I cut holes in the plywood and attach plexiglass over it and adhere the pads underneath the plexiglass. And this is lifted up off the floor a little bit. There's just 2x3, so it's 1.5 inches up off the floor. And I have the wires fed through there to the end. Let me flip this over and show you what I did exactly. Okay. So here's what it looks like underneath. So it's framed out with 2x3s. I've cut notches in here to let the cords through. Let a little bit of hot air out, but that's never been a problem. Then I've got the Zoom Med heating pads adhered to the plexiglass. You know, they've got peel-off, sticky back stuff. And eventually they're going to lift off in a few months or a year. So what I've got is I've got insulation rods that have some spring to them. And I bent them and staple gunned them on here. That way, when this finally lets go, there's going to be a little bit of spring to hold that on. So they'll still stay in place. So I'm looking to not have to do this over again, because this is going to get screwed to the walls and the backing that's over there. And eventually, if I do need to replace these heating pads, what I'll do is I'll just end up unscrewing the plexiglass and doing it that way. I don't want to have to ever take this back apart until I'm done with the cage. So this one goes through a notch, over here, and then both of them come out this notch out to the side. And with my cages, I like to have two underneath the tank heating pads to heat the substrate on each end, and I have them going 24 hours a day. They only use about 8 watts of power each. Here's where we are now with it. I've got the floor all installed, sides on. I've begun work on the front here. These are all screwed down. And one more thing I think I forgot to mention before, the whole purpose behind raising this up off the floor and not having these heat pads on the cement. Well, there's two things actually. Number one, to create a little air gap in there. That way it won't overheat and cause a fire or melt the plexiglass or whatever. You just don't want that much heat. You want it to be able to flow a little bit and dissipate a little bit. The other thing is pumping out the turtle tanks in here. I flooded the room with just a little bit of water, like a 1/4 inch of water, a few times. You don't want electric cords on the ground, so let's lift everything up off the ground a little bit. And that's the main reason for this gap here. We just got the front door done, hinges and latches complete, and I can reach through here to feed them if I want to take them out to handle the animals or whatever. It's very strong actually. Plexiglass panels on the front, and then when I want to get in here to clean, I just do one of these and do one of these, and it folds down. And then I can get right in there, climb right in there when I want to clean it out. Pretty awesome. I'm very happy with it. Now I've got to paint it and polyurethane it. Check it out. Check it out. There it is. I'm very happy with this. I'm going to get ready to put the bedding in. I've already got some of this soaking. Here's what I use. I use Eco-Earth, which is compressed coconut fiber bricks. And you soak it in a pail, like a 5-gallon pail of hot water, and after about a half hour it expands. So I've got 6 of them soaking right now. This is a 6 foot by 2 foot enclosure, so that may be enough. I may have to add these 3 and do 9 bricks altogether. We'll see. Some important things to notice are I put the huts directly over where the heating pads are on each end. the water is not underneath the heat lamp. This one's heat, that one's UVB. And the basking spot is also underneath the heat lamp, as is this large flat rock, which will heat up and they can sit on it to warm up. Here's Ruby the red-footed tortoise. Look at girl. Cool. She's like, whoa, what the heck? Here comes the big boy Gronk. There he is. Cool dude. And here comes my big boy Bubba. Big boy. Alright, Bubba. Look at, guys, a lovely housewarming gift. Oh man. Oh, someone sees that. Food. She's like, hey, hey, hey. Hey now, hey now. Was that a cricket in there? He's like, this is all mine. I claim this salad as my own. This is all mine. I am the king. Gotta go. You like your new basking spot?